What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome in to another video. I'm joined by Dave Oster. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing great. We're wearing the same shirts as if you watched our Bradley Beal video. We're doing the same shirts because we're doing a bunch of videos in the same day. Yay. This is a mock draft. We haven't had, so same thing. I haven't said this to the NBA crew like I did the NFL side. I feel bad that we got into both draft processes very late in the season. The draft room has felt good once we got the rushedness out of it for the NFL, but it's felt a little rushed. Haven't had as much content as we would have liked to have, but next year's going to be so much better. However, we need to give you guys some mock draft content because we know everyone loves mocks. Mocks on top of mocks. Dave has a mock. I have a mock. Kai has a mock. Camser has a mock. If you don't know who those people are, Discord. Join the Discord down below. Greatest community in the universe.
Retro has a mock.
Retro has a mock.
I think has a mock.
Everybody's got a mock.
Mocks
are like opinions, Dave. Everyone's got them.
It's mock season, baby.
My mom would probably say something completely different, but I don't want to be demonetized. So we're going to say mocks are like opinions. Okay. She would say opinions are like buttholes, Dave, but I can't say what I really want to say because YouTube will demonetize us.
Leave it.
I just didn't want to do all that work this early in the video. Like I'm going to be, I got a pad here I'm going to be writing down. I don't want to waste it on that. But remember, if you want to support us, check out our Patreon link down below. And again, join the Discord if you're not there. So links are below. Dave, what we're going to do today is we got a joint mock here. Yep. We're going to trade off. I have the odd picks. You have the even picks. We're going to go through. We're going to say, okay, this team, this is who I would pick and why, and then have our discussions. JD and I did a version of this when the NHL draft lottery happened, and we did the lottery portion of it. I think it should be fun to get into the NBA. But Dave, without further ado, the Spurs at number 1. I think I'm going to have to go Grady Dick.
I totally understand.
No, it's
clearly the best prospect on the board, Ricky. I understand. You zig when everybody else zags.
No. It's Victor. Victor's one. I think it's one of those Zion-ish. What most of us
thought. It was
thought.
Determined for a while.
It's like, this is it. Let's move on. Like I hate when that's the case, but number 1 is Victor.
He just played his last game in Europe. I think today.
His last game in Europe ever.
Yeah. Well, no,
unless it's national ball, but like,
yeah. Pre-NBA last game, and he played well, and he will keep playing well because he's very good at basketball. If you haven't seen anything out of him, I highly suggest it.
That means you've got a decision to make it too.
Not really. That is pretty clear. if you listen to me talk in our Discord or on this podcast ever, the decision is very easy because it's Scoot Henderson at 2.
I knew that was going to happen.
Need Scoot Henderson. He is such an amazing prospect. He is. They talked about him, for several months now, being like, well, if it wasn't for Victor, like Scoot would be number 1, and in almost any other draft class, Scoot would be 1, and all this Brandon Miller stuff to me is a bunch of malarkey, if I'm being honest with me. I think Scoot as a 6'2" barefoot point guard, measuring about 6'4" in shoes, he is built different. He looks. That's what this class is. If you want like quick idea of what this class is, we don't have the best 3-point shooters or floor spacers, but this is one of the most athletically gifted classes in different eras that you have ever seen. Between Victor Wembanyama being 7'4" plus at this point, Scoot Henderson is 6'2", but with like a 6'9" wingspan, and he looks absolutely yoked out of his mind. And then some guys we're gonna get to later, very much the same. This is a athletic difference class, so very interesting. But I just love Scoot. He's a professional point guard at age 18. You just nothing to hate on him about.
Well, that brings number 3, Dave.
What are you gonna do? So you got a couple options.
I have a couple options.
You have the Trailblazers.
So one of them would be to trade, but however, the one thing I forgot to say that I'm gonna play in here is no trades in this mock. We're not going to get, Dave and I aren't going to get muddied up. We'll go, like, it would be a 5-hour mock if Dave and I were talking about trades and like, then it comes to this thing of like, So it's trading, but because it's kind of a versus thing in some people's mind, like as I'm trading with you, you would want to win. You more than me would want to win the trade. So you would get a little bit more vindictive and like, no, I'm not giving this up. Screw this team. No, I don't want to let you win.
The values would be hard to make a consensus on between the two of us.
Yeah,
we see the
would
game
be here
and
for
prospects
days.
differently. Yep.
We would be here for
It's
days.
Good call. Good call.
So I could take Brandon Miller and just go chalk.
Sure.
But Dave, I've started to think to myself, and like I got a little mad because as we sat down to record, you mentioned that this could be now a possibility in real life. And I was just like, oh, like I literally thought this in the shower and was like, I'm going to do this because I know Dave's going to do too. And I'm going to throw a wrench into things. I'm going to go with Amen Thompson. And the reason being is...
So I hit you with the double finger guns. Now it's the wrong person.
I like Brandon Miller. Yes, it is the wrong person. I like Brandon Miller. However, if Scoot's gone at 3, the Blazers to me, it's like Brandon Miller will be good. I like Brandon Miller, but the upside of Thompson could be better. I like the defense. I like defense better on Thompson's side. There's still the question mark with the Thompson twins of how fast or how long it takes them to develop to actual NBA competition. Well, and shooting. Like, the competition, I think, is a little overblown at this point because, like, 100%. They will adjust to it. It's just with the Blazers, how quickly are they adjusting to that competition? Because you want to win now under Dame.
Yep. For whatever reason, that is the goal.
I'm gonna roll the dice with Amen Thompson.
That's what the gesture was.
Yeah. It was. That's what this was. I'm rolling the dice.
You're shaking the dice in your hand.
Yeah,
I understand.
I'm shaking dice in my hand, Dave, because that's what you do. Well, I didn't do the true Vegas shooter motion where you're like this, and
right. And thank you for showing the audience that motion. To clarify.
Well, I mean that's how you shoot dice in Vegas, right? I've never done it myself, but like,
well, we were there, but
we didn't gamble.
Could
have joined Pat Bev and PG because they were at our. There were video of them at our hotel gambling. We just didn't know they were there.
But Amen Thompson is a good pick because of their assistant GM, Mike Schmitz. So for those of you who don't know, he was a big time content creator in the draft space. Someone who we know his preferences because of his time as a public figure, basically putting out his thoughts and opinions on the draft. Yeah. And then last year, basically leading up to the draft, before he was officially made an assistant GM, it was very much clear that they, because of he maybe had a very strong preference, that Shaedon Sharpe was the guy. Someone who is just an insanely incredible athlete who happens to have a special game to him that nobody really got to see because of his playing situation. So we have a preference for athletes. We have a preference for elite skill sets. Amen Thompson checks both those boxes. And the most interesting part of this is they had the Thompson twins in for their workout, I believe, before Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
Which means that Brandon Miller one felt like a convince me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. And maybe I'm reading the tea leaves wrong.
Is it also because they do that many people think that... You
gotta do your due diligence, but...
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You took Scoot at 2.
I did.
Many people think the Hornets are going to do the other and take Miller.
They may.
They may. Like, it's a decision.
They may have Zion Williamson.
They may have Zion Williamson. But yeah, I looked at it and I said, I like Brandon Miller. I don't hate him. But if I'm the Blazers, I'll take the upside with Thompson and move on. It's just what I was thinking. The Rockets then. Apparently they liked Amen Thompson.
They like the Thompson twins.
So are we back to backing, Dave?
I will take Asar Thompson.
Yep. After you said they like the Thompson twins.
Gotta listen to the words they put out, Ricky. Gotta listen to the words they put out. I think Asar fits perfectly with this roster from day one. He gives them a spacing wing with the ability to pass, shoot, dribble, penetrate, and I want to say create a little bit for others. So, like, he really has a do-it-all kit. His shot's a little bit better than Amen's shot. Just because he's been working on it more, it would seem, over the last couple of years, where Amen became a primary point. Asar was a kind of do-it-all wing, and he looks like something special in my eyes. I think he fits flawlessly in with this roster, and of course, this is independent of the James Harden situation, the Fred VanVleet situation, it could fall out after this. So he doesn't hurt either of those free agency odds for the Rockets. And he would be my BPA at the time. So I feel good as a Houston Rocket that I just walked away with him.
I don't know if Piston fans are going to like me or not after this day.
Well, you know the Piston fans pick. You know what our Piston fan wants to take.
Yeah.
But has he ever had the option, is my question.
Brandon Miller's the pick if he's there.
That's the question.
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking...
Calm?
What?
Over Calm?
Calm. Like... Whitmore has been the pick, but if Brandon Miller is there, Dave,
you have to think, right?
I can't pass that up, right? Or like
he fell to 5,
and I don't even know.
We're talking about it 2.
Piston fans, let me know. Do you love or hate this? Yeah. Like, do you hate Brandon Miller, your team? Because, like, to me, I just feel like here's the question I would ask: they already have 2 primary ball handlers, one of them being Cade Cunningham.
Jaden.
How can Brandon Miller work well without the ball in his hands, or does he need the ball in his hands? That's more of a you question than a me question.
He is great off ball. He's great on ball.
Yeah, I would take Brandon Miller in a heartbeat.
He feels like a total package wing who just his only struggle, and that's been very clarified, is his ability to finish at the rim against high level competition. With that said, you have Jaden Ivey, who will live attacking the rim.
Yeah.
So your floor spacing provided by Brandon Miller is perfect.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people think Calm is the right pick here because they've only been looking at him, perhaps.
Has Pat McAfee been saying Calm?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I was like, as soon as you said it enough times, I'm like, McAfee probably said Calm. And now that's all Dave can say is Calm.
Yeah,
Whitmore.
The word Cam doesn't exist in my brain anymore. It's Calm.
Calm Whitmore. Champion.
I think it's a really good pick, and I think he's someone who fills the void on that starting rotation perfectly. Oh, that's such a good pick, though.
That brings up the Magic, though. Were you thinking the Magic were going to get Brandon Miller? Do you think I was just going to go with Calm Whitmore?
I was. Because I don't want Cam Whitmore.
You said Cam.
I did. I don't want Cam Whitmore. I don't think Cam Whitmore is a great fit in the Orlando system because if we're just talking plug and play guy, this is an Orlando team with Markelle Fultz at the 1. Say what you want about him. He rebounded very well from his previous years. He looks to be healthy for the first time in a long time. Continuously full healthy offseason. Everything is coming up Markelle. You have a great roster with Paolo and Franz holding down the anchors. Wendell's good at the 5. Could you upgrade? Maybe. But that 2 spot is where you're looking. And Calm could be that plug-and-play guy because we know he doesn't like to pass.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that seems very odd because that's what the Orlando Magic are trying to do. They like length, which Calm notoriously does not have a long wingspan.
Yeah.
I think he's only plus 2 inches in his wingspan, so does not check the box that they do physically. And then also he's not a, do-it-all style player. Somebody who has all the tools, someone who uses all of them. He's a pass, shoot, dribble, everything. Calm is a finisher. Calm is a shooter, which makes sense because that's what they do need. They need that floor spacing. But if I were me and I've got Calm, Jarace Walker, or Ant Black in front of me, like, you think Anthony Black...
I know who you're picking, Dave. You didn't even have to say his name.
I'm going Jarace Walker.
Oh! I thought you were going to go with Ant.
I want to.
I had it copied already, ready to paste.
No, I believe that they would consider Jarace Walker because that gives them a 3-wing lineup and the ability to go small with Paolo at the 5, which they experimented with last year to varying results. He's somebody who allows them to easily move away from Jonathan Isaac, and no thought in the back of my mind has any concerns about whatever he'll be because Jarace is an instant day 1 defensive monster who can help defend the rim, who can switch everywhere, which is exactly what they're looking for. And he gives them that flexibility. He can shoot. He can defend. He can facilitate. He can do everything. And he has elite measurables. He checks every box that Orlando Magic front office has always wanted.
You know what's funny that I just realized? First off, you shocked me because you were talking shooting. You did the whole, misdirection. You talked shooting guard, and I was like, oh, well, Ant Black's got to be the pick. It's got to be the pick.
Ant is a point guard. He's mislabeled often as a shooting guard.
Like, isn't he a combo guard?
to be a shooting guard for him. Unfortunately, that is not the case right now in his career. I would like him because he is such a great kid. His personality is awesome. I enjoy watching. He started his own vlog channel on YouTube. If you want to check that out to watch his draft experience and everything leading up to it. Awesome watch. Highly recommend. Love Anthony Black's human. But he only right now, he has some limitations, and that being shooting and operating with his other arm and going in more than one direction. So there's some limitations to his game, but I know a lot of people are so quick to push Markelle out and say Anthony Black is the new point guard of this team because he defends like an amazing and he can create and he's so quick to process the game. But Jarace Walker also processes quickly. Jarace Walker also defends amazingly. But guess what? He's also bigger, stronger, and can rim protect for you. Absolutely. And I'm a Markelle fan. I'm not going to... Come on.
And Dave, the one thing I'm thinking is... like Dora the Explorer would say, like we got the magic second pick. We're going to put that over here. This is a tool that we're going to use later. Very interesting when we get to that pick for a specific reason. For me, then the Pacers are up at 7 and I'm thanking you if I'm the Pacers in this point because they have worked out one player. This player has worked out with them in the Jazz and they would really love this player. Calm Whitmore is an Indiana Pacer. Like this is falling right into their laps. Hey, I want Calm. Calm's going to be here. Come to Indiana. Come from Villanova to Indiana, play with the Pacers. Do you love that? Like this seems like the player the Pacers want.
So it does and it doesn't because he is an athletic wing, which is exactly what they want. He is a good shooter already. Excellent catch and shoot. Excellent finisher. You have the best passing point guard like in Tyrese Halliburton, one of the most advanced point guards in the NBA right now as far as how many opportunities he will create for his teammates. And Calm is a knockdown shooter. The problem is they already have Ben Mathurin who doesn't like to pass. And by doesn't like to pass, I'm being nice. And now if you look at Calm, he also doesn't like to pass. Now does that raise some flags with me? Sure. But he is young. He is hella athletic. I think that this is something that they would do. I feel like that's a move that they could commit to just because they feel the value is right. But that two non-passers, two ball stoppers concerns me a little bit. But if anybody can coach it, it's Carlisle. That's my thought.
Interesting. Yeah, that pick was super easy to me. You're up next with the Wizards.
Anthony Black, super easy sending it. Like... I would have someone else here. Should I do me or should I do what I think is because I did me for the Pistons and I did Brandon Miller. Right, we are making the pick. Then it's Kobe Buffkin.
Oh, I was thinking about him for the Jazz.
Yeah, well,
either him or Wallace, and I was thinking about taking Kobe Buffkin because I knew how much you like him, and I'm like, that's the guy I would take.
Yeah,
I was literally just thinking about Buffkin for the Jazz.
I would like that's the argument I was having in my head as a Magic was I was like Kobe Buffkin or Jarace Walker right now.
Okay,
it's kind of tough, and I might.
Yeah, well, they got a second pick too.
Yeah, well, Kobe Buffkin won't be there with their second pick.
Yeah, well, guess what? With their second pick, he ain't gonna be there otherwise because Dave, the one thing we've talked about with number 9 and the Jazz is we've talked about the point guard position. They have Colin Sexton, who, correct me if I'm wrong, you said not a real point guard.
Correct.
And they have Jordan Clarkson. Yeah, they have Jordan Clarkson, who's not a real point guard. Correct. They need a point guard. They need one. Well, you just took one of the top 2 point guards in the class. I am now forced to take the second one. I'm just going to take Cason Wallace. I am not leaving.
Black. Wow. That is no, and that's fine.
No, I'm thinking now
because Wallace has the floor spacing. Cason Wallace often compared to Drew Holiday in his style because he's not a takeover style guard. He is a 3 wing who is a.
Let me look at Black real quick. Here's the only thing about Black that I like a little bit better is defense. Oh, I'm gonna stay with Cason Wallace. I'm gonna stick to my guns. Stick to my guns. Yeah. Cason Wallace, Jazz. Could have went Anthony Black. People are probably going to be upset at me for that. but I'm going to go with.
People are going to be upset at me much more than you, I think, after this draft.
I didn't even think about Anthony Black, but we could have retconned it. I'm not. That leaves you at 10 with the Mavs.
Not trading out because I can't.
Yes, because you can't.
Which means I'm taking Taylor Hendricks.
All right, not a bad pick.
Someone who will space the floor, someone who will space the floor, and someone who will space the floor, because that's what they need. He can also rim protect like a mother. So, like, you get somebody who will fit nicely off ball of Luka and Kyrie. That's exactly what you're asking for. He does not need to create for himself, which is a deficiency he needs to keep working on, but there's no rush, because your job is to stand in the corner, hit threes, which he can do at an insanely good rate. Yes. He can move off ball, and he can attack the rim with a dunk. That's all you need. Don't ask him to not dunk it. He's smart. He only dunks.
Dave, here was the interesting thing.
Yep.
Who made the first Magic pick? We're going to bring that tool back, Dave. This is a weird thing of this mock of how we're doing evens and odds. Every team that has multiple picks, neither of us make the same pick for those teams. Yep. The Pacers might be, or the Jazz will be the only interesting team because they got 3. So obviously one of us is going to be making 2. Yeah. So 2 of those picks are going to be made by one of us, but you already went with the job of Jarace Walker.
I did.
I sit here and go, well, point guard is something that people are saying that they need. Anthony Black would be dumb not to take here. So I'm going to go with Anthony Black to the Magic.
Well played. Well played.
I mean, it's just like this is one
in conversation, you know, always Jalen Hood-Schifino, if you do like him.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's not me, but good for you.
Good for you.
Could also be an option here. Like, floor space in theory would be good, but at the same time, if you like Anthony Black, you get Anthony Black.
Yeah.
He can switch defensively 1 through 4. Probably with a little time 1 through 3 right now. Very, very good on. Just smart. He can attack off ball. Ooh, he's such good prospect. Just needs to work on his shooting a lot.
Who are you going with if you are the...
I'm stalling, Ricky. I'm stalling. Can you not tell by me stalling?
I will say I feel the same way about the team after in the Raptors.
So I am the Thunder.
This pick is getting traded if all of this does. Like, if they don't trade up, that's the problem.
There's 2 players that are very Thunder-esque here. One is Bilal Coulibaly.
Yes.
Overseas player, wing, athletic, long. Most recently played with Victor. Was a very good contributor defensively for their team. Didn't really get to showcase a lot of his athleticism and his offensive skill set because he was clearly like the 4th or 5th option on that team. But if you look at his minor league games, his U18 games or U21 games, whatever they are, much different player. He played, I think, at the showcase games against Bronny James actually as well. That's fun to watch too. So like, he's somebody who's interesting because he could be a boat. You know, he could literally be anything. We don't know. And if there's a team I trust to develop a player, right now the Thunder seem like a top 4 team for that. The other guy is Leonard Miller. Leonard Miller was the first player I heard that was rumored to be associated with the Thunder.
Yep.
He's a player I like more than Bilal, so I will choose Leonard Miller. He is a 6'10", 4'5", who is athletic, who is uncoordinated at the moment. Like, I swear, if you watch him, he is not smooth, but he somehow is successful. He put up incredible numbers in the G League. I think he was putting up somewhere around 17 and 10, and he just kept getting better the whole year. This is a guy who played his first professional basketball game against Victor in that showcase game this time last year, basically.
Yeah.
And just the amount of growth he's had in 1 year is insane. He's super coachable, very smart, but he's just so new to, like, organized basketball, it feels like, because he played in Canada. No offense, Canada. His system, he was basically a point guard until a growth spurt, and then he still kind of remained a point guard. So he's got a good enough handle for someone his size. Like, it's just, there's so much raw talent there. He won't be great year 1. He probably won't be great year 2. But they don't care about that. They know the end product of him being an absolute dog on the boards day 1, and someone who athletically looks like he can challenge multiple positions, 3, 4, 5. Defend up and down. Oof. He's the right guy. He's super coachable, super likable. Leonard Miller is my pick at 12.
So you're going with Leonard. See, that's the one where I was like, Dave, why? Like, you're not talking about him at first. I'm like, Dave, just say his name. Just say Leonard Miller's the pick. The Thunder like him. That would be the one that, like, very few of these picks is like, this is the pick if he's there. It just seems like, and I'm looking here so that I can copy him over, that, like, yeah, he, like, the Thunder, though, they would be trading in my mind if they're
feels
not
like they would
stuck
go
here.
back. Feels like they would go back. But
Dave,
there's...
I'm in a similar position, though, with the Raptors, because I have a question for you. Fred VanVleet, Spot Rack has him with a contract value for this year. He is entering the last year of his deal? Or is he done? He didn't. Okay. So he's a free agent this year. That's the one thing that they did not help me with.
Fred is a free agent.
I got to look at your sheet, actually, for a second. I don't have your sheet pulled up. So with the Raptors, it's like a lot of... Well, yes, a lot of the picks that people have are shooting guards. And the one thing I'm thinking, Dave, is like they don't, like, in my mind, I'm thinking with the
Gary Trent Jr. also is a free agent. They could re-sign him. Same boat as Fred. He could re-sign. Unlikely, but he could. I would say the Raptors want to not only compete but also build at the same time. Scotty Barnes has, notoriously played 1 through 5 on that roster. I think they want to continue to push him towards the 1, which feels like why Fred is on the way out. So you can have more ball in Scotty's hands.
I don't know if this is a good pick, but I'm going to make it anyways. Nick Smith Jr.
It's an interesting
combo guard. Can play the 1, can play the 2. Could, like, basically it's like we have a 1, we have a 2. We will develop him into whatever we need him to develop into and kind of try to force him into that peg, whether he fits there or not. I don't know if that's the right idea. I don't know. Like, to me, it's like
6'8" is the problem, Ricky.
Yeah.
And that's anti-Raptor of you.
Yeah. I mean, new Raptors. New year, new Raptor, Dave.
Sorry. If you're not like a 6'7" wing, do we really know if you're a Raptor or not? And that's why Fred had to go. That's why Gary Trent Jr. gotta go.
Yeah.
Not tall enough, sorry. They're a team who I would have thought Bilal might have been on their board pretty high. But Nick Smith Jr., explosive, someone who came off of not his best season because of injuries.
Would you say he fits better as a 2 or a 1?
2.
Okay.
2. Definitely a 2, but ball in hand 2. He can run himself, 3-level score.
Yeah, okay. That's where I'm gonna lean. That one was a hard pick for me. Yeah, I just I could have went Bilal, could have went Nick Smith. I just like that one. Like Tankathon had Jordan Hawkins, and I'm like, I don't necessarily.
I don't like that fit either.
Like that.
I like that less.
What about the Pelicans with you?
Well, Pelicans here have a lot on their board, to be honest, because they're a team who is rumored to want to go get Scoot. They're a team who last year had some health concerns across the board, but they did find out that, hey, Trey Murphy, very good at basketball. We love that Trey Murphy can shoot up and down the court. Brandon Ingram's great. JV is great. CJ is aging out to the point where the end of his prime is kind of here. I'm a little concerned by the fact that like Jose is like a spot usage kind of a point guard for them. But really it feels like it's a CJ and BI kind of led team. So I want to go for somebody who can do both. They can create, but also, they can be an off-ball player. And that for me would be, it's so close. Grady Dick and Dariq Whitehead are very close. Both of those guys. I'm going to go with Whitehead because I like upside players. I feel like Grady Dick is already just very good. And he is someone who there's just, in my mind, maybe a cap on how good defensively he could be. Dariq we're seeing is the Dariq that we only got to see with a broken foot, really. Because he had surgery, he came back and played, and that surgery was confirmed unsuccessful. And then he went and had a second surgery just a couple weeks ago. So the Dariq that I know is the one from high school, the one who we saw at all the tournaments, the one who was killing it.
By the way, I love when you say that because it just sparked into my head talking to Soapy and him going like, yeah, Dave's like high on Dariq Whitehead, but like the only tape we have is high school. Like it's not the same.
Well, we watched him play in college. He was somehow still one of the most efficient shooters in the NCAA, while playing on a broken foot. Can we not talk like? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? We're talking about an explosive
Talking
athlete
about going back to high school tape.
He, meanwhile, is still a great shooter. He's a great shooter on 1 foot, Ricky. Do you know what he can do with 2 feet?
I don't know. Could be a boat.
Could be a boat. So of course I'm going to take him. Grady Dick will get the knock, rightfully so, for his defense being a question. He is a smart player who can shoot the lights out the ball. Shoot the lights out the ball? Whatever. Shoot the lights out the gym. Backdoor cut like a motherfucker. Like he's an awesome player, but this team needs somebody who might be a little more of a ball handler at times and kind of grow under CJ. And that kind of a mold is my idea. It's like, hey, this is somebody who can come in, take the ball in his hands if he has to, but also they just need spacing. And Dariq can already do this without, a fully healthy foot. So when he has the healthy foot, woo, it's going to be good. He's going to be good.
So I have a problem here with the Hawks.
Do ya?
First off, my problem was Grady Dick should have went to the Raptors. That was my problem. After you said his name, that's why I went like this. So I'm like, I forgot he was even on the board still. Because usually he's not on the this is the fun thing about mocks like this. Guys fall. You're not used to their name even being here, so you don't even think about their name being there.
Yep. 100%.
So I have a choice to make with the Hawks. First off, BPA, Grady Dick has fallen to me. Do I just take Grady Dick, Dave? Or do I look at what this team could need more and go with either a George or a Hawkins? That's where I'm sitting right now, because there's a part of me that just wants to go BPA and Grady Dick. But I look at this Hawks team and I go, you already have Bogdan, you already have DeAndre Hunter. Like the big thing, you already have Sadiq Bey. You drafted AJ Griffin. That was how I said that.
Credit too.
But like player. Otherwise, you have because the thing with the Hawks I'm looking at is what are your contract situations, and the only guy you don't have locked down that's not an RFA is DeJounte Murray, guy that we talked about in the Bradley Beal video. Check that out if you haven't. And there's a part of me that goes,
Hamster always says they need a backup point guard.
Yeah, but all the point guards are taken.
I know.
Nick Smith Jr. would have been the pick here if he was still there, but he's not. I'll ask you, and this will. If
you're phoning a friend, the answer is never Jalen Hood-Schifino.
No. It wasn't even thinking of him.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm gonna put it out there so everybody knows.
I'll ask you, not necessarily player. But if you're the Hawks and your situation is a top 10 BPA player that is a wing, or taking a shooting guard that you could need more, BPA or fit is basically what I'm
taking. Grady Dick.
That's where I was leaning. I'm gonna take Grady Dick. That's where I was leaning, just because it's BPA, just because I know in my hot of hots that he's a top 10 player in this draft.
Figure it out. You just figured it out at that point.
Yeah, I'm not concerned with Grady Dick's a Hawk.
Free agency's a thing. Maybe picking up Grady Dick means you can move off of some of those guys like Bogdan. There's a chance. Choosing him's not the wrong choice in my opinion.
So
I think it is good.
I made the pick for this team at 9. I took Case and Wallace. Dave, who do the Jazz take at 16?
The Jazz are a mystery box. Bilal is a mystery box. So they're taking Bilal.
Okay, mystery box.
I think he is the upside Switten that Danny Ainge would take here. Okay. That's my read. There's definitely guys they could go for if you wanted a more sure thing. But I think that this team is hey, we blew it up and we got incredibly lucky that Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler just happened to be lying around and teams didn't value them correctly. So this is all playing with house money. They are. Whoo! And Casey Wallace feels like a lock. I'm sorry, he just feels like a lock. So you take the risk on the wing with the massive upside. Absolutely feel great about that.
So with the Lakers,
you got a couple choices to make now. They got good options.
I do. I feel like I know where I'm gonna lean, and I don't know how this is gonna go.
I got two names. I'm curious to know which one you're going to go
Let me
with.
hear your two names first, because I'm locked in on mine.
Jordan Hawkins or Jet Howard?
Neither of those are who I was thinking of.
Okay.
Bryce Sensabaugh.
Ooh.
Bryce Sensabaugh is the pick.
That gets a recoil out of me.
Because you have Jordan Hawkins ranked higher than Bryce Sensabaugh.
No, I just think that Bryce Sensabaugh is a player who may not be ready to play on a championship caliber team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that necessarily disqualify him? No, because they could draft him, they could play him, he could do well, and he could put in more effort. Yeah. He could try on defense and not just foul like a crazy person.
So why I was thinking this, number one is the effort. They're going to need someone to basically
give you offensive effort.
Show that you want to be there. LeBron's going to want effort. If you can show you want to be there on defense, they need that too. I don't know. I think they need more of a bigger body than not a bigger body. And he has the bigger body compared to Hawkins. But the Lakers to me, I don't know.
Hawkins,
I don't know if any
runs around screens.
I don't know
shoots three.
Any pick they take here, it's a coin flip if they're going to contribute or not when they get to the end of the year. Go ahead.
Jordan Hawkins just played in the NCAA tournament, no?
Yes.
No. Was he able to contribute at a high level during the tournament by playing defense and running around screens and hitting crazy jumpers off screens?
Has nothing to do with the player. Has everything to do about the Lakers, because the Lakers, I feel like, would be the team. LeBron would be the guy. Give me the vet over the rookie. Unless the rookie's playing like Austin Reeves did, but Reeves wasn't a rookie this year.
True.
The only rookie that was contributing somewhat was Christian Braun for the Nuggets that I'm thinking.
Well, he wasn't the only one, but
the one that I'm thinking like that made it late into the playoffs. Like I'm trying to think of, there were probably others, but like not that rookies can't contribute, but the Lakers, they need help. And I don't know if a rookie necessarily gives them the amount of help that
you're saying. You're taking upside on offense, and you're hoping this guy can put together on the defensive side.
Maybe he turns into Austin, like not exactly, but the same kind of trajectory as an Austin Reeves. Like first year was pretty good, second year like grows into something that we could use. I don't know. Like maybe that's a bad pick, but it's just
it's interesting
how I said it. Speaking of finals, you get the Miami Heat.
I do, and this is a toughie.
Leonard Miller would have been a great pick here.
Well, Leonard Miller would have been a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
You could go a couple different ways.
First off, are you getting Bradley Beal or not getting Bradley Beal?
That's the question. Right now, they don't have Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
You've got hilariously old Kyle Lowry, who had, I don't want to say a resurgence, but he looked like a playable player for some of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we talked about the lack of, point guards available in this class. I don't think that Jalen Hood-Schifino or Keontae George would be a good take at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because Derek Lively is sitting there, and I don't necessarily love taking centers who are as limited as he is right now. But he's a rim protecting big who is very good at that. He can roll, and he means Bam doesn't have to play the 5 in every matchup, which we've seen differing, situations with Bam better at the 4 with a big next to him, but those bigs next to him aren't necessarily in their prime, or they're not necessarily, out of the G League. Yeah. So it's hard to say, like, we haven't seen, like, a double, lineup like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that. I feel like they're going to take a swing on Jet Howard here, though.
Okay.
I think Jet Howard is somebody who stretches the floor, moves the ball, smart player, We didn't really get to see a lot of him as far as his defense. He was notably criticized for his lack of defense and hustle. I think the Miami Heat are the team who will enforce that, or else. So you get a big floor spacer who can move the ball. That seems like, and he can ball handle. That is exactly what they're looking for, in my opinion. I think that's I feel pretty okay about that one.
I thought you were going to go with Lively. You're talking about.
I was so close.
Lively. And
I was so close to pulling the trigger on it.
But I'm glad you didn't, because I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what, like they got.
It doesn't feel like what they would pick.
Yeah, they just. I don't think it's a huge. It's not a like huge thing to like. I like Jet Howard's potential also above Lively. The thing about centers is you got to have the right like position.
Yeah.
You got to be in the right spot.
You got to be in the right system to be used. How often are they going to keep him on the floor is the question, you know?
Good point, because centers, they'll take you off. Like, you're almost interchangeable.
You are, in their minds.
Speaking of centers, there's a part of me that thought Lively... There's a part of me that goes, would Lively be the pick for the Warriors?
Would they dare?
I don't think so. What I'm thinking about, though, is like the Warriors, so... Draymond Green's got a player op. We still got to see what he does with that. Klay Thompson's at the end of his deal. That's next year as he's a free agent, so we'll see what happens with that. Yet again, the core's in place. It's just, first off, anyone they draft, is Steve Kerr going to play him?
That's why.
Because like that's the thing.
Are they going to go with upperclassmen because of that? Or are they going, like, here's the thing. This is Mike Dunleavy Jr.'s first draft class.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they moved on from Myers. This is Mike Dunleavy Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you think Mike Dunleavy Jr., your first thought is scumbag, because that's the type of player he was.
Junior or senior?
Junior.
Okay. Junior was the one with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
You don't like
he's one of those guys who...
Junior? He was good when we had him.
Do you remember when he got tackled by Giannis? Do you remember that?
Yeah, but he was our guy, Dave.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He was on our team at the time, so that's what I mean. Like, he's that kind of a, like, if that's the style of player that he was, I wonder what kind of a player he's looking for. I think he might value grit a little bit more than other guys.
You say scumbag, and to take a hockey term, in the hockey world they like to use goon.
Well, here's the thing. If you wanted a modern day Mike Dunleavy Jr., you might look at a Grayson Allen.
I hate Grayson.
Yeah, Ricky. How does it feel now?
Dan Grayson. You don't like Mike Dunleavy Jr.?
I love him.
Okay.
I love him.
I just hate Grayson.
But I'm just saying that's the type of that was the type of player he was. Yeah. So I think Mike Dunleavy Jr. might, in line with the Warriors, go for someone with a little grit and a little bit of age on him.
So I'm going to say who I'm thinking, and this is who I'm going to take. And it's mainly one of the reasons why I'm picking him is one of the things that you said about his ability to come off of screens and offensively. I'm going to go with Jordan Hawkins for the Warriors. Yeah. Just seems like a good pick. And then, hey, if you want to move on from Jordan Poole, you can do that because Hawkins is there.
I think that's a fine pick. I know the concern is always around the ties.
Because like Steve Kerr could just not play him.
Correct.
Like Kuminga and Moody.
Yeah, I fucking hate that. But I do think it's an interesting one because who better to learn from than Steph Curry and Klay Thompson? Like, those are the best you could possibly learn from as far as how to run. Like, we already know he's smart because he's playing in a UConn offense, which is a lot of off-ball movement, a lot of actions, working off ball from Andre Jackson. You have to be very with it. You have to be very aware of the ball movement that could happen at any time while cuts are happening. So, like, I feel pretty good about his basketball IQ. I think he's a tough defender, and I think he has an elite skill in that three-point shot. Now, if he gets chased off the line a lot, that could be problematic.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the best system for him to not only contribute, but also like mentor or be a mentee in.
Yeah.
So I'm good pick. Good pick in my opinion.
I will say I finally figured out, Dave, because we got here. The next pick is one of two teams that you and I, one of them you make both picks for. One of them I make both picks for.
Okay.
The Rockets with you. You actually made their first pick. You actually get to make their second pick.
Yeah, I took Sar with their first pick, and I feel pretty good about that. So I still don't have a point guard. I still don't know that I will take a point guard right now because it still feels like it's a little bit of reach. Even though there's like, I would appreciate taking somebody like a Marcus Sasser, but I'm a little afraid.
Way
I'm a little
too high
afraid
for
right
Marcus
now.
Sasser.
It's a little high for Marcus Sasser, and I will admit that. But
not
I
high
like
in Dave's mind.
No, it still is a little bit actually.
Check out the board of assorted bigness that'll be on the channel from Dave.
There we go.
His top 60 board of assorted bigness.
Derek Lively is a
Big
no.
Lee.
It could be Big Lee. I won't take Derek Lively because Alperen Şengün's the future, and I refuse to give them an option to not play him. But they do have Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka likes dogs. He is somebody who is a defensive-minded genius. Now, this team's not known for their outstanding hustle on defense. They've got a couple guys who are good at it, but like the consistency's been a problem. I don't like my mouse is hovering over someone, and I don't like it because it's Keontae George.
Okay,
and like it's a situation where in the back of my head I'm going, he's not the best player, but he might hit that intersection of like, if you don't believe Ty Washington will get the reps to be a starting point guard or even a bench point guard because of the logjam with Daisha Nix, with Jay Gupp, and now Ty all there. Like, I'm a little afraid to invest in another combo guard. And for that reason, I'm going to take a little bit of size, but I'm also going to take somebody who... Oh, man, this is tough. Why is this so tough? Why is this so tough?
Because we did it this way.
Yep. I'm just going to keep scrolling on my list. I'm going to keep scrolling until I see a name that I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely the guy I want to pick right now.
George is interesting because, like, now with Hawkins being gone, he would technically be the top shooting guard on the board.
Yeah, he's a top, and he can create for himself, and he can play some defense. He doesn't have elite athleticism, though. Here's the question: how quickly are they going to compete? Because if it's soon, So here's my question: do you go for a polished upperclassman or more of a raw prospect? They're both doing the same role.
I'm saying raw prospect.
City Sissoko.
Okay.
Or CD Sissoko.
And the reason why I say that is I don't think they are competing anytime soon unless they're signing James Harden.
Okay.
And the draft happens before James Harden would even sign. So, like...
Yep.
That's what I would go with.
I think CD is such a fun combination of athleticism and work effort, and like he will run through a wall for you kind of a guy from watching him in the G League, from listening to his interviews. He's still got to work on his shot. He's still got to work on, his ability to space the floor, but like he is constantly at it, and he has a good handle. He has got good size, and he's got that fight in him. He's exactly the kind of prospect that I'm like, absolutely, give it to me. Yep. I feel okay about that. Thank you, Ricky.
The Nets. Now, here's the thing. You and I both make a pick each. They're right in a row, back to back.
Yep.
Dave, in your mind, what should the Nets be looking for? Because I'll be honest, I don't have a clue what they should.
This Nets roster is confusion.
It's just
you had Ben Simmons' contract coming off of back surgeries. Will he play for you? We don't know. It's a $37 million question this year, and he's still got another year under contract.
Yeah.
Mikhail's a star. We all know it. We all see it. Great. But is Spencer Dinwiddie the guy who's going to be there with him, or should you be looking for someone who can be that guy? They have Cam Johnson, who they can potentially resign. I think you throw the bag at him.
Yeah.
They got Clax. I think you throw the bag. Like, those are your core. I think everybody else is kind of flexible. If you're a Cam Thomas believer, great. The fact that the man got benched after dropping 40 buckets left and right is hilarious. Tells you a lot about his mentality and their coach's mentality. So I would say that at this point, they've got a center. They've got two wings who I think are very good. And they've got anything else is kind of up for grabs. No offense to Spence. He's a good player, but he's on a one-year deal right now, and he's not necessarily... that guy in my mind. So if you have a guard, I would say guard.
So because I know you're making another pick right after me.
Yep.
And we're not going to double up on guard.
Or we could.
I am going to take probably my favorite person in this draft. Okay. Some might see this as a reach, but when you're a team like the Nets,
I knew you were going to do this. I knew it.
You take the guy you like and you say, to be damned.
No, good pick.
Brandon Podziemski.
Yep.
I like Pods. Like that's. I just look at it and I go, whether you see him as like a guard, whether you see him as a wing, like he's got so much upside. This Nets team made the playoffs mostly because KD and Kyrie were on their roster at the beginning of the year. And then Mikhail's good, but like I just look at it and I go, so much upside that I'm going to take a swing on that because the rest of this roster besides Mikhail is just a question. And then I put it in your court, Dave. Do you go double guard? Do you go another wing? Do you go a big? Lively was someone I thought about, even though might not be a need at all.
Flex is good, and you could bring along Lively slowly that way.
Because Lively like Flex, for the position he's being like draft position here.
Are we in value range
yet? Exactly. Because like Derek Lively on Tankathon is 13.
Same question could be asked about Keontae George, though, I assume.
Good point. I forgot George is there.
And in theory, Jalen Hood-Schifino, or Schifino, I keep calling him Schifano. I apologize. I don't mean any disrespect there, but I really dislike you as a player because you settle for floaters all day, and it bugs the crap out of me.
Yeah.
You're inefficient. Be more efficient.
But like here's the thing that
I'm staring down the idea. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just wanted to say one thing where. So like for example, Lively is 13th on Tankathon's big board, and I'm not giving up the big board, the big. I'm going off of your individual ones, Dave.
And this was from a couple weeks back.
Yes, you had Lively as the second center or the second big.
Yeah, I mean behind Victor. Yeah, this is not Victor. A great class for bigs for sure. Yeah.
And Keontae George is on Tankathon at 14, so he's right below Lively on theirs, and then you had him as the top guard. You had him behind Hawkins.
No, I did not.
You had him behind Hawkins, didn't you? No, you had him as a.
I viewed him unfavorably.
Oh, I was thinking sensible. Yeah, no, you had George. Where is he? Is he? Oh, he's listed under combo. You had him sixth, the sixth best combo guard.
Not favorably.
Yeah. So, like, in your mind, like yet again, though, two different positions. Like, if
you just take Lively and go, hey, we have somebody in Claxton who we like, but he is due for a contract. Mm-hmm. He's at $9 million this year. We would like to re-sign him. I think he's a good player. But we could sign Lively right now for cheaper and try to sell Claxton his final year, or we can compete with Clax and then see if he'll re-sign. And we have two really good centers. Mm-hmm. Not the worst thing in the world to have, honestly, with the way Claxton gets into swings where he can't play the man 40 minutes a night. Mm-hmm. So Lively feels like it would be the value pick here. And it's tough for me because I partially am thinking Keontae George here, but I'm like, he's just something doesn't jive with me with Keontae George. I will. Oh, they're gonna hate me if I don't take him though.
Yeah. I see the gears moving. The gears are moving.
I'm thinking, how egregious would it feel for you if I selected Amari Bailey here? Because he's someone who I like and I think is undervalued, and I think he's available on a lot of people's boards mid-second, pick like 35 to 45 range typically. And I don't want to do anything out of pocket here because I like Amari Bailey.
So here's the thing though, when we enter picks 21 through 30, this is where you could take reaches. The only problem is usually we're saying that because these are playoff teams, and the Nets are they're not your traditional playoff team because
I'm taking Amari Bailey.
Okay.
I'm locking in. I like Amari Bailey. I think he's an upside swing here.
Is he a guard or forward?
He's a guard.
Okay.
He's a guard.
Just because
he played point partially last year.
He was UCLA, right?
Yeah, UCLA. He was part of that amazing defense. Unfortunately, Jaden Clark went down, but both Jaime and he split time at point guard for this team, and he really thrived late in the year during the tournament. Showcased himself during the NBA Combine as somebody who is not only a good shooter but a good passer. Maybe has more to his game. Maybe UCLA's system, well, he did thrive in it. He can do more if they asked him to. But they had a vet in Jaime who was a great leader, great locker room guy, upperclassman, did everything the right way. So you're not going to cross that guy just for a kid. So I think it's good. I like it. I like Bailey now. The more I'm talking about it, I'm more confident in that selection.
So Blazers, this is the other team. I made their first pick. I get to make their next pick. I took Amen Thompson earlier on. Dave, thank you for not taking Derek Lively because Derek Lively's the pick. It was either going to be Lively or Najee, depending on who. Like, when you kept saying Lively, I know I threw it out there. I was like, after a while, I'm like, oh, don't take Lively. I want the Blazers to take Lively. Like, Nurk Dog, you're going to be moving off that, or moving him off to the bench. Derek Lively could be your center of the future.
No, that's smart.
I just look at it and go, boom, take the best center. It's either going to be Najee or Lively.
No, I think it's a good pick, and I think it's something that Mike would push for. I like that they have a GM, but I'm just referring only to their assistant GM.
Yep. Because
he's a draft guy.
Dave, you love this team. At number 24, what do the Tangs? What do the Tangs do?
I'm not doing it, guys. You're not drafting Chris Murray. Don't worry. I'm not that lazy.
But we got to get the brothers together.
Oh.
Did Tankathon do that? No, Tankathon has them going James Najee.
Najee would be interesting.
But that's because they have Chris Murray at 20 to the Rockets. So
Chris Murray's offensively gifted. Sure, I'll give him that. But, no. What I think this team needs is a dog on defense, and I'm taking Jaime. I like Jaime to this team.
Okay.
He's like 6'7". He defends really well. He can run an offense. He's shown he's mature for his age. He's already an upperclassman, so he can come in and give you playoff minutes. They just took an upperclassman in Murray last year, Davion Mitchell the year before. So there is a trend to this front office. They trust upperclassmen, and he can play playoff minutes tomorrow.
What do I do with the Grizzlies? That's the problem. The Grizzlies are a team to where it's they have so many issues, Dave, meaning, first off, John Morant not going to play 25 games. Tyus Jones 1 year before you have to work on it. He ain't going to be making a lot of money, but yet again, you never know. Play has a good year, could go somewhere else. Someone may want him. And we know Dylan Brooks ain't coming back. Desmond Bain, RFA next year. You'll have to decide what to do with that. Tillman's on a club option.
Here's the thing. You are looking at a situation where Zaire Williams has to step up or step out. That this is his make or break year on this team. He had an injury last year, which is why he got a pass. He came off the bench for the majority of the year, but he is their 3 right now, and he has not performed well. Jake LaRavia, drafted last year, not performed well. Thankfully for them, Big Body Roddy did well, well as
Big Body Roddy.
Well, he did. Kenny Lofton Jr. I can't wait to see this man get more minutes after dominating the G League. Santi Aldama did great for them. They need a wing. Vince Williams, I thought, would be that guy. He struggled still last year. He wasn't ready yet out of ECU. But not to say he won't get another opportunity, but they're definitely looking at wing or a backup point guard. Because Tyus Jones, final year, the question is, John Morant, Tyus Jones, a lot of unknowns. And you afford to, Desmond Bain can play the one, I guess, effectively enough. But If you're looking, I would point you at the Wangs.
Yeah. Because like the best point guard on the board is Hood-Schifino, depending on who you are, and I'm not
Or
touching
Keontae
him.
George.
Or Keontae George.
Who I would say is more of a willing passer than Hood-Schifino.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I'm just like...
No, I'm just letting you know that's...
I'm going to go with...
House down.
I'm going to go with Maxwell Lewis.
Oh, I like it. We're aiming for the firepower.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Maxwell Lewis. Get a Wang.
Pepperdine, yep.
Yeah, Wang out of Pepperdine. That's where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I mean, the kid had a blazing start to the season. Wish that he had been able to keep that up. But team's kind of locked in on the fact that, we're playing Pepperdine. Just smother that kid.
Yeah.
And made his life real difficult. But playing on the Grizzlies, good luck doing that. Because you leave Bane open, that's an open 3. Jaren Jackson Jr., open 3. You know, they got shooters, they got spacing, you got Corn Dog off the bench. Like they got a lot of guys who can stretch.
I thought about Colby Jones.
Colby Jones is worth a thought.
The only thing that shifted me away from it is seeing some people saying that like defense and projected NBA 3 was listed as a negative.
He's an all-around kind of guy, but he's a little smaller and he's an upper. And we just like Max Lewis feels like the bigger upside swing. So offensively, he's shown more. I would just say that, yeah.
Who are you taking if you are the Pacers? They took Com Whitmore with my first pick.
We have pick 29, pick 32, and pick 55. At 29, we're probably going to take a project player with some size, which I'm leaning towards a Ryan Rupert.
Okay.
I don't know why I wouldn't take him here. I'm taking Ryan Rupert here. French player, played down in the NBL last year. Good defender. Solid with the ball in his hands. Needs to continue working on his shot, but he has those measurables that are very desirable in the NBA. I believe he's like 6'7" with a 7'1" wingspan, roughly. So I think he's a long-term project pick, and they can afford to do that still.
I was thinking about him for the Grizzlies, but the long-term project pick is what shied me away from thinking about him for them. And like you speak of long-term
we keep dancing around the
projects.
2 people at the top of this board, and people are going to be pissed at us.
Well, here's the thing.
JHS and Keontae George are still out there.
Here's the thing. The Hornets at 27. I know, Dave, that you went with Scoot Henderson.
Yep.
With your first one.
I did.
And really, this team to me, there's not like a necessary like thing that's like, okay, this is what we need.
A pick I love.
What pick is that? Because I already
Chris
knew what
Murray. Chris Murray being a big shooter for them on the outside.
Sell me on why I should take him over Keontae George. Because I was just
Keontae George would come off the bench.
I was going to take the value. But yet again, they drafted Book Knight last year.
Yeah, they hate him.
Or do you hate him?
Bit of both. They also have Terry Rozier still under contract. Like, you need to move on from Terry. Let's be honest. That's the direction of this team. Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward are both older, but at least Gordon Hayward provides them like with some wing. Like, he's a wing creator, which is a very good thing still for what he is. Yes, you overpaid to get him there. Yes, he's been injured often, but he's a great guy to have around because he has a good skill set, seems to have a good locker room impact, but I think he's someone who you could sell on, half a year. Terry Rozier's got a 3-year deal, right? So
I'm gonna do Chris Murray. You're right. That's the better.
Get that size.
I was gonna be lazy and do this is the best guy on the board, but that just it wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be right. Chris Murray is a better pick. What?
But the Jazz will take Keontae George.
Yeah. What about the Jazz for you? They have taken you.
I literally just took Keontae George already.
Oh, did you? I didn't see it. I was going to say, at this point, you took Bilal and I took Case and Wallace.
Yeah, I think Keontae George is just the upside swing because value at this point. Okay. Like, I don't love him, but I have to admit at this point, Do it.
Well,
I might tell you to take Sasser over him, but that's not where they're at. They're a team that's all about the rebuild. They don't need to win now, and Sasser feels like a guy who could fit into a playoff team and contribute day one.
Pacers, you took Ryan Rupert with the last pick. I took Colm Whitmore. I'm going to go front court here, Dave. I'm going James Nagy out of Barcelona.
Now, you say that out loud.
Mainly because you get, yet again, going to need to develop him. But I think Miles Turner is on the way out sooner rather than later. And I would like to have that extension, somebody.
But he does always seem to be up
get traded.
Grab.
He's going to be traded at some point. That's what I believe. That's my reasoning behind this and why I went with Najee.
May I ask you?
Go ahead.
Najee over Clowney. Najee is a prototypical rim runner. He's athletic. He's basically only been given one path, and he hasn't been able to showcase much because offensively he's still very raw. But he's a defensive, rim runner who's just athletic, and his workout videos are Noah Clowney is someone who can take open threes, can try to space the floor for you, and was part of a pretty good Alabama defense.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm curious is it just the fact that Najee's got like a crazy bod?
That's it. It's like for the Pacers, it's like the 3 picks are going to be interesting.
Would Noah Clowney be drafting Miles Turner 2.0 almost? It's like you're just drafting a worse version of him.
Yeah.
Noah Clowney gives you something different. I'm sorry, James Najee gives you something different.
That's basically it. Like to me, I took the true center. I took the best one of those, and that was Najee.
Okay.
Which that leaves you, a boy from down under, loves this team, the LA Clippers. Dave, how are you rounding off the first round? Who are the Clippers taking to end this thing out?
So there's a couple names.
Hood-Schifino, goodbye, everybody.
No chance. I don't like you.
Amoni Bates, goodbye, everybody.
Gigi Jackson, never. I would never do that to you. I would never.
Retro would love that though, because he loves Gigi Jackson. I don't know if he wants him on the Clippers.
This team's just in a weird spot. Like I could see Noah Clowney going here because they want to for they're going with Maruk, even though he's still like they're just in contract hell.
Yeah.
It feels like they're going to move off pieces. They're able to have Batum play the 5 for them at times last year. Rocco barely existed for them. I feel like they just kind of got a lot of shit, and they're just hoping that somewhere along the way they can clean house. If I were them, I would probably take a shot on someone who can help space the floor, like a Ben Shepherd.
Okay.
I think Ben Shepherd's my guy. He is able to ball in hand, shoot the lights out. We saw him in the workout at the Combine where it actually got to see him against, NBA level competition, or at least hopeful competition. He looked great. He's just a really good shooter. Went to a much smaller school, so we didn't get to see, high level competition. But I think that they want somebody who at least has the capabilities to have his ball in the hand. The only other guy I was thinking of would be I think it's Clowney, Omax, or him. Those 3 guys were the 3 that were really coming to my head. Because Omax has that upside of being a raw defensive wing who will fight through screens for you on defense. He will chase down players. He has a growing offensive skill set that he needs to keep growing. So if you want, a big wing who can chase around, 2s and 3s as well in the switchable system, sure. But taking Ben Shepherd.
All right, Ben Shep. Oh, I gotta actually type that. So I've been going off of, I'll be completely honest, I've been going off of one of the mocks that I've been working with.
Okay.
And just to copy over names so I don't have to take them from Tankathon and do the whole formatting thing.
Ben
Shepherd is what?
You could just use Fanspo.
Yeah, I don't. I have my own Google spreadsheets. Okay. You know me. Okay. I like the spreadsheets. I like them out there. So yeah. But yeah, that means rounding it out, we're gonna I'm going to list everything out here at the end. Let us know, obviously, what you guys think. This is how our draft played out, Dave. At number 1, we had the Spurs going with Victor. Then at 2, the Hornets going with Scoot Henderson from G League Ignite. The Blazers at 3 going with Amen Thompson. Got to say that nice and slow for Dave.
Got a D at the end of it, yeah.
Then at 4, the Rockets going with Asar Thompson.
Sorry, yeah.
Then at 5, the Pistons going with Brandon Miller. The Magic at 6 going with Jarace Walker. Pacers at 7 going with Cam Whitmore. Wizards at 8, Kobe Buffkin. 9, the Jazz going Cason Wallace. The Mavs at 10 going Taylor Hendricks. The Magic at 11 going Anthony Black. Thunder at 12 going Leonard Miller. Raptors at 13 going Nick Smith Jr. Pelicans at 14 going with Dariq Whitehead. 15, the Hawks going with Grady Dick. 16, the Jazz going with Bilal Coulibaly. Bilal Coulibaly. 17, the Lakers going with Bryce Sensabaugh. 16, the Heat going with Jet Howard. The Warriors at 19 going with Jordan Hawkins. The Rockets at 20 going with Sidi Sissoko.
Yep.
The Nets at 21 going with Brandon Podziemski. The Nets then at 22 going with Amari Bailey. The Blazers at 23 going with Derek Lively. The Kangs at 24 going with Jaime Jaquez Jr. The Grizzlies at 25 going with Maxwell Lewis. The Pacers at 26 going with Ryan Rupert. The Hornets at 27 going with Chris Murray. Jazz at 28 going with Keontae George. Pacers at 29 going with James Najee. And then the Clippers at 30 going with Ben Shepherd. Dave, before we end this, how you feel about this? This was something where I do want to say
it was a brain test. It was a brain test, man.
We went all the way through. We were going all the way through. I didn't want to do a ton of what does this team need? What does that team need? I was obviously thinking about some things pre-doing it, but for the most part, it was okay. Let's see how it plays out. What would I do? Some guys I may miss. How happy are you with this mock, and how well received do you think it's going to be?
We're going to piss some people off. The magic move, Kai, let me know what you think. You get Jarace Walker and Ant Black? I mean, you good with that? Are you? Maybe you're not, but you let me know. Did I solve your outside shooting problems? Maybe not, but you could do that in free agency, man. You got good hair still.
Yeah.
No, I think it went well. There's a couple ones like you had mentioned, the Grady Dick thing slipping in your mind for the Raptors might be a player who they'd be interested, or even Coulibaly would be someone who the Raptors were linked to as well. Yeah. So I think they had said he feels like he's a lotto lock. So if he fell, that would be interesting, but it happened that way in our mock, so it's fine. Jalen Hood-Schifino, we mentioned several times. I do not like him as a prospect. I apologize if you feel badly about that.
Dave's like Jeff Bridges is just my opinion, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way.
It's just my opinion, man. That's all it is. But that is going to do it. Remember, if you want to tell us what you think down below in the comment section, we love reading the comments from what you guys have to say. If you want to support us, our Patreon link is down below in the description. Join the MVP Discord if you have not already. Link also in the description. Ton of content right now. As this is up, there's probably a big board from Dave up. There is a Bradley Beal video up. There's a lot of draft content coming up this week for us. We will also be live streaming the draft on Thursday. It's going to be a great time. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.